much for being out here on a Tuesday night. Before I bring up your last comedian, you got your thing ready? Before I bring up your last comedian, I just want to say this next comedian is a very special treat. He comes here all the time and he's been rehearsing so he can perform this 30-minute set for you guys. Okay? So what I need from you is your biggest, best energy. I need you guys to give him a nice warm welcome and your undivided attention. Please give it up for our friend, Jay Porter, everybody!
I'm Jay Porter and I fight for truth, justice, and the right to wear spandex. You know, folks, I'm confused tonight. I thought I was showing up to audition for a new reality television show. The next great white rapper over 60. But here I am tonight, folks. You know, I've spent 29 years in Vallejo. The Valley Joe has been good to me. Came here, worked in the oil refineries, made a life. But you know, I was born and raised in West Virginia. And you turn out just a little bit differently. Now, folks, West Virginia is a little bit misunderstood. Middle of the Civil War, they broke off from Virginia to fight against slavery. And I know y'all came here for a Latin lesson tonight. State motto, Montane Sempre Libere. Mountaineers are always free. Or, as we really know what it means, crazy hillbillies just leave us alone. So you know, there's a phrase throughout the South, and I think West Virginians are nicer than most people in the South. It's called, bless their heart. Now in West Virginia, you'll hear, well, bless her heart, she fell down and broke her ankle. In the rest of the South, you'll hear, well, bless his heart, you know, he was conceived at the family reunion. Now you know, West Virginians, when they get passive aggressive, they go hillbilly. You heard of going ghetto, West Virginians go hillbilly. I'm going back to a conversation when I was in freaking high school French. Nobody in the high school class, we're trying to get our 2 years of foreign language in. So you know how it goes, the teacher says something in English and you repeat it back. Where is the cat? Anyway, lay shack. The cat is white. Les chat a blanc. The cat is great. Les chat a très formidable. And like I say, you turn out just a little bit differently. I was thinking about our former President Obama the other day. You know, he was raised in Hawaii. And I think he'd turn out a little bit differently. He was raised in West Virginia. I can just imagine his mother on the little farm, looking out the back door, calling him, Bayrock! Bayrock! Bayrock Obama! Where are you at? If I catch you again out behind the hen house with that wacky tobacco and rolling papers from your granny, I'm going to tan you into the next century. So folks, I grew up there, got my degree in engineering, took my first job in 1980, traveling across the country to New Mexico. Somewhere outside of Amarillo, Texas, I went into my first Mexican restaurant. But they were going to that day I was facing decisions and going to be asked questions that I was totally unprepared for as a young man. You see, I was going in there to have a burrito, but it wasn't the special day it could have been, because I'd lost my burrito virginity 2 years earlier to a cheap burrito from Taco Bell. But I walked in and there was this menu board, and I looked up, and I knew, I'd heard of enchiladas and tacos and burritos, but I'm sitting there going, Torta, is that like a Mexican turtle sandwich? And what the heck is this chicken with mole sauce? I'm sitting there thinking, people with a bunch of bags gathering moles out in the field. And then I got asked questions that I wasn't prepared for. On my burrito, they said, do you want red chili or green chili? And I said, whenever I've opened that can of Hormel, it's been red. Why would I want something that's turned green? And then they asked me, she said, well, sir, do you want pinto beans or do you want refried beans? Now, I was raised eating a lot of pinto beans, and my mama reheated them. But I can't imagine anybody who would want to fry their beans, much less refry them a second time. True story. True story. So, you know, 40 plus years working, I retired. And you know what us boomers did? We retired right in the middle of COVID. That was like living in one of those crazy 1950s sci-fi B movies. I think you'd call it Attack of the Killer Karens. And every time you turned on social media and the TV, there'd be some lady, I'm going to call it a crazy Karen.
Oh my! Do you not know we're in a pandemic? Haven't you listened to Dr. Fauci? Don't you know we're all gonna die?
And then they let us out. And we had the social distance. And we're marching around like a freaking bunch of penguins in Antarctica. It sounded like a David Attenborough documentary on the BBC. Now there they go, the North American bipedal COVID propagation through that box store known as Home Depot. Then we got to go out and eat. They allowed us to get out of our houses. And you know what was saving us? That 1/8 of an inch piece of plastic on our booth. And we would walk in with our mask, and we would sit down, take our mask off and go, ollie, ollie, oxen free. I'm in the booth, the COVID can't get me. So I've been trying to watch my health. I go to the gym a few times a week. I swim, I do some free weights, I bodybuild, don't laugh. And I'm having trouble. I get diverted at the gym. Some of the attire the young women wear, particularly the flesh-toned, skin-tight yoga shorts, or as I refer to them as camel toe accentuators. And then here I am, you know, trying to be healthy, you know, getting a lot of social pressure to go plant-based, to go vegan. I'm about 2% vegan right now, which is, if I was milk, I'd be pretty darn healthy. You know, and vegan, you know, people are, there's a lot of societal, you know, there's a lot of vegans that wanted to be here tonight, but they're sitting at home right now in an easy chair, and there's a cat sitting on their chest in the weight and they can't get up. And they're desperately trying to reach to the side and get a sip of their kale shake, but their paper straw has collapsed, and the PBS News is in the background, and they're going, help me, help me, help me. But you know, veganism is putting a lot of stress on modern relationships. I heard two women talking the other day. One asked their husband, have you talked to your husband about becoming a vegan? He said, well, yes, I have, but unfortunately, he still has his testicles. But folks, I'm swearing that I am going to have one vegan meal a day. That's right, potato chips and Oreos. I'm going to do it. Yeah, we came out of this COVID thing, and there's inflation. It started to hit me, man. I think I need a new gig in retirement. I'm thinking about setting up an OnlyFriends site for myself. I'm going to sell pictures of my feet. That's because there's some sick people who are into S&M. And you know what S&M stands for? That's right, sandals and moccasins. You're talking about inflation. You know, my gosh, the price of cars now. You know, there's like colonoscopies, root canals. Buying a car, that's one of the unpleasant experiences in life. And these car dealerships, they got to figure out a way to get you. I figured out 3 different ways. So you're at the mechanic. You're at the mechanic. You're looking behind the glass, and there you are. And you look in, and they got that hood up, and then you hear that, you see the defibrillators. They're going, clear, clear. So your car has died, and you got to go into the dealership, and it's like a funeral home. But you walk in and go, oh man, my car died, and they're like, we're so sorry for your loss. And in the back, we're like, we got a real one here, we got a live one. So the second thing, people don't think about this, balloons. You're like, what? Well, imagine you're driving down the interstate. The memory is fresh in your mind of your recent trip to visit your family in your 2010 Toyota Corolla with 2 small children. The car is still reeking of fermented juice boxes. And you drive by that dealership, and there literally is that 800-pound gorilla on the roof going, buy a minivan, buy a minivan. And he's got his friends, the squiggly guys, you know, the blow-up things. Hi there, buy a car, buy a car. The third thing is sales. It used to be there was just the end of the year sales, but now it's like President's Day, Valentine's Day, National Ferret Month. But my favorite is the end of the year. You know, the end of the year sale. And you've got this beautiful couple, matching sweaters, multi-million-dollar house. You know, these are the kind of people, they move in next door to you need to worry about. Because at best, they're the president and vice president of your local homeowners association. And at worst, they're satanic vegans out sacrificing eggplants in their backyard. So they go out, and there it is, a brand new $50,000 minivan, a $50,000 pickup truck. The ribbons on, it's the Toyota December to remember. But they never show the month after, when the first car payment shows up, and the envelope is open, and the husband is going, honey, you need to get on Craigslist now. We need to sell the Labradoodle. Get on Craigslist now. We need to sell the Labradoodle. And tell the kids they are going to be living in the van. They're going to be living in the van. Yes, that's right. It's the Toyota January to regret. One of the things, spend too much time on, really, social media and some of the apps. I've been on Facebook for 14 years. And I know that's the old people's app. And it seems like the only friend requests I've gotten the last 14 years, or last few years I gotta say, is from these well-endowed 20-something girls. And I have sadly learned that they are not real. And those have been even worse. They've been replaced by guys my age. Hi, I'm Bill from Montana. Want to be my friend? America. To which I respond, no, sorry, Bill, you're going to have to die cold, lonely, and friendless in Montana. And then you've got Instagram, son of Facebook. And you know, you got to watch the algorithm. You got these little reels, these little movies. And if you watch kitten videos, you get kitten videos. If you watch puppy videos, you get puppy videos. And if you watch 400-pound women on stripper poles, okay, just don't linger on any one video. Don't linger on any one video. And then there's Twitter/X. You know, Twitter used to be a nice little app. You post short little things. Hi there, I brushed my teeth this morning. Tweet. Nice little bluebird. Now it's X. It sounds like somewhere you'd go to watch Wanda and her lusty parrot. Anybody on Nextdoor? Oh my gosh, it's like the gathering place, the petri dish for stupid people in our community. Here's some typical posts. Does anybody know where to buy toothpaste in Valera? There's a dead bird in the street. I have 5 roosters that need rehoming. To which I want to respond, I have 5 cast iron frying pans, perfect for rehoming. But the ultimate next door post is,
I've got dog poop! I've got dog poop! I've got dog poop on my front lawn!
so people don't think about this. You know, I spend a lot of time on the 𝐾𝐨𝐲 Permanente app. And it's really a dating site, the Choose Your Doctor. It's kind of like Tinder for doctors. And I needed to get a new doctor a few years ago. So I'm swiping these doctors and I find this one. She was from Hawaii. And I'm thinking about it, Hawaiians are mellow. And I want a mellow doctor. And I'm imagining her, she's taking my pulse. Well, Mr. Porter, I think you need to be eating more Kahlua pork. And Mr. Porter, I think a Mai Tai a day would be good for you. So that I choose this lady as my doctor. She has no bad manner. She has the bad manner of a spider, and I'm calling her in my mind Dr. Arachnoped. I go in to meet her, and it's like, Mr. Porter, I'm looking at your test results, and I see that you probably need to make some lifestyle changes. And all I'm hearing is, hail, hail, hail. And I think by now a lot of us, you know, we've got those Amazon Alexas in our house, good for reminding us about stuff. You know, give a countdown of time. But you know what? That lady will blurt out things and rat you out at the worst possible moment. Imagine you got friends over when suddenly, beep, from Amazon Shopping. In January, you purchased Dr. Ramo's personal lubricant. How many stars would you give it?
Shut up! I'm Amazon! Shut up! Shut up!
So folks, one of the things we like to do in retirement is travel. We take road trips. And that usually involves a couple of national parks, a plane flight, rent a car. So a few years ago, we went to Yellowstone and Grand Tetons Park. And as part of this trip on different legs, we both had run-ins, me and my wife, with TSA. And you're going to see that my wife, who tell this story, is a lot smarter than me. So anyways, my wife's, yes, Uncle Bill in Montana, we went up and visited. Now, Uncle Bill was 96 years old, Pearl Harbor survivor, one of the first helicopter pilots for LAPD, freaking arrested Charlie Manson, total badass. Guys like that don't stop. They keep reinventing themselves. So at age 96, this guy developed a new career, prairie dog sniper. He went out and got a military-grade sniper rifle and shot prairie dogs from 600 yards away. It's a big, the cattle up there, they break their legs in the field. It's a big money deal. So anyway, the last day we're there visiting, we're in the garage. My wife, she was raised hunting and stuff, picks up his prized rifle, looks at it, touches the trigger, looks down at the sight. We don't think anything about it. 10 hours later, we are in Salt Lake City, and my wife is made part of a random TSA check. And guess what? She's got gunpowder residue on her finger. Now my wife doesn't go, hey, I was there this morning with my uncle, the prairie dog sniper, and I was handling his sniper rifle. No, she goes, really? Gunpowder? Well, who can imagine that? Oh my. So a little bit later, the TSA agent comes over and goes, well, this must be a false positive. On another leg of the trip, so guys my age, we sometimes develop a leakage problem. And we wear a pad. And I didn't think anything of it. I headed out, went into the airport. And I'm used to getting some extra attention because I have an artificial knee and hip, and I tell them this and they want me. So I go through, but the TSA agent keeps wanting me. And suddenly I'm noticing he's doing a circular motion around my crotch. And he's frisking around my crotch. And I turn behind me, and there on the computer screen is a white rectangle. And at that moment I knew I was a suspected pee-pad terrorist. I continued to be frisked. And then I'm not as smart as my wife. I said, "Excuse me, sir, I'm wearing a pee pad. If you will just allow me to reach in and pull it out, you can examine my pee pad and we can all go about our business." Well, you can't just be brandishing a pee pad of mass destruction. So what did this guy do? He did what any good employee would do. He called in his supervisor. The first thing he saw was I was wearing a belt. So I had to remove my belt. The frisking continued more vigorously, and he's going up and down my sides. My freaking pants are starting to fall off. So he allowed me out of graciously to put one hand holding my pants up and one in my hair. The frisking continued, the wanting continued. It was at this moment that I was feeling hopeless. And then I turned around looking for the one person, the anchor in my life, my wife of 40 years, the person I could depend on, who had turned her back on me and was chortling in laughter. The TSA agent, shortly thereafter, informed me of an official TSA motive known as the crotch grapple. After the approach crotch grapple was performed, he informed me that I could go about my day. I walked forward shoeless, my pants still about to fall off. I didn't know if I needed a cuddle or a cigarette, but God is my witness, I will never wear a freaking pee pad to the airport again. I'm going to close with something just a little unusual here. I've never done that. So folks, I have got some grandsons, and I love them to death, but I'm having to relearn some parenting. And one of the things is, you can't exactly describe things as they are. You got to spell things out or use alternative descriptions. So my daughter had them over at the house, and she said, "I'm going to take my boys to the Christian chicken place." And I went, "What the heck?" It went over my head. Now, being from West Virginia, and as I told you, we turned out just a little bit differently. I went to a very strange place in my mind. Imagine a fast food restaurant ran by a sleazy televangelist. Tonight, my friends, without further ado, I'm going to bring you to the Christian chicken restaurant. Welcome, my friends, to the Christian chicken restaurant. It will be my pleasure to serve you today. I see that you are first-time visitors. My friends, I will read to you the words from our menu board. First, we have our chicken. We have the strips. We have the nuggets. We got the grilled. We got the fried. And then, my friends, you see, we have the chicken sandwich. And my friends, we have the true chicken sandwich. Not the one peddled by that little red-haired girl and her square baconators. Our chicken sandwiches come on a buttered bun and are anointed with 2 pickles. And finally, we have our biscuits. You see, our biscuits are not drizzled with butter, but they go through a full butter immersion. Thank you, Sister Paula Dean in the back. My friends, you see, I have not always been the manager here at the Christian Chicken. I used to live a life of Cinnabons. I used to lurk by the Krispy Kreme donut, and I would watch those donuts roll down the conveyor under the glistening glaze. And then I would vicariously watch as the fluffy women devoured the Bavarian cream donuts. My friends, we live in a world today that we cannot trust our chicken. The place called churches has changed their frying oil. The Mexicans have invaded with their crazy chicken. And even the Colonel has fallen to the demon of plant-based chicken. Oh, my friends, we live in a world today that we cannot trust our chicken. My friends, I would ask you, but you know our chickens, they are free, they are drug-free, they are cage-free. And my friends, I would ask you today to make a decision and make a contribution per our menu board. Thank you, my friends. It'd be my pleasure to serve you. Thank you, folks. It's been a pleasure.
Jay Porter, everybody. He's been working on that routine for months, you guys. Give it up for him. How do